Let's start with today's market action. Then the last street witnessed a smart recovery after falling for the first couple of hours. So by the time the markets closed, Sensex and the Nifty were 0.6% in the green. Mid-caps ended flat with a slightly negative bias, but did see a 350-odd point bounce back. The Nifty Bank outperformed to end just shy of the 27,000 mark, having rallied a percentage point. Nigel D'Souza is here with a detailed check of today's trading action. Nigel, the trough was followed by a crest very clearly.
Well, that's right. The bulls, they live to fight another day. At the start of the trading session, you were thinking that, in fact, we're going to go ahead and break the 10,500 odd mark. That didn't happen. The Nifty hit 10,535, and from there we saw a big recovery. The 50 DMA, that came in at around the 10,580 odd mark. That was breached intraday, but the Nifty on a closing basis really closed way above that particular level. A couple of factors led to the bounce. One was that, in fact, the US markets have seen a sharp correction. So there's hope that, in fact, now the US market could see a bit of a recovery from those lows. That's one part of it. And secondly, the Nifty had corrected 300 points in 3 trading sessions. So some of those shorts, they closed out their positions because tomorrow we have expiry as well. There were big gainers on the Nifty. Adani Ports did very well. That ended at the high point of the day. You had Bharti Airtel as well as Z. They were the top gainers on the Nifty. But the Nifty does well when the heavyweight stocks do well. And the HDFC twins came to the party. L&T as well ended with a gain of more than 1%. And they saw big recoveries intraday. That explains why, in fact, the Nifty did see an end with a gain of more than 50-60 points odd. The crisscross lines as well should come up for you. The number of stocks that were advancing at the start of trade were only around 250 stocks. By the time we wound down, more than 800 stocks were advancing. So that's telling you that the mid-cap index as well did see a very good recovery. Two themes really played out today. Brent crude prices cooled down, and you had the yields as well that were holding at lower levels, sub that 7.3%. So a couple of sectors that did well. The aviation space did well. ADF prices will come in lower. We know that most of these planes are flying full now, given that it's holiday season. So all the aviation stocks were up and about. And given that the yields cooled down, maybe the cost of borrowing as well will come in lower. So you had the likes of Bajaj Finance, India Bulls Housing Finance, Canfin Homes, as well as Repco Home Finance. All of them ended with strong gains. So good day for the bulls after seeing red on the screen. The markets ended well in the green, but now all eyes on the 200 day EMA. That comes in at around 10,770 odd mark.
All right, Nigel, thanks for that. But let's get some market opinion going as well. Earlier today, we spoke to S. Narain of ICICI Prudential AMC, who sees the recent correction in the market as a healthy trend and also an interesting opportunity to invest in. Listen in.
Market valuations have corrected. I mean, even on a big, large developed market like US, you've seen a massive correction in the last 2 months, and that has made markets much more reasonably valued in most places. And from an investor's point of view, this kind of an environment is clearly superior to what we saw at the start of the year. I would actually view the correction as healthy because if you have an overvalued market and you're a long-only mutual fund, you had more problems at the start of the year than you have at this point of the time. We are not worried about near-term trends. We think that near-term the markets will be volatile. We think the whole of 2019 could be volatile due to both local and global reasons. But there are huge opportunities in that volatility. It's clearly a superb period for SIPs from the point of view of long-term prosperity. If you do SIPs when the markets are overvalued, it may not be as good as it is today. So I would say this 2019 is a SIP year.
All right, from equities to currency then, the rupee opened higher by 25 paise at 69.88 against the US dollar versus its closing of 70.13 on Monday. So at this point, it's at 70.10. However, the currency couldn't hold these gains for long, slipping on the back of a surge in the dollar demand that has been seen lately. And from currency to crude as well, oil prices continue to remain subdued as investors anticipate a drop in demand on fears of an economic slowdown. Brent is at this point in time hovering at 50.9, around that $51 per barrel mark, and NYMEX is in fact at 43.19. It's up by about 1.55%. Meanwhile, gold prices have hit a 6-month high as investors turn to safe havens amidst a sell-off in global equity markets. So the yellow metal is trading over $1,270 per ounce, up by around 2.5% this week. Now, the big story back home, the Angel tax issue continues to simmer. There was some cheer earlier this week with the Central Board of Direct Taxes, or the CBDT, instructing all its assessing officers to not take coercive measures to recover the outstanding tax demand or penalties until further notice. Now, we learned from our sources in the CBDT that the body continues to be concerned about the abnormal valuations of such companies. CNBC TV 18's Dimsy Jaipure has been tracking the story very closely, and she's here with the details. Dimsy, what are you picking up?
Well, as you rightly mentioned, despite that the CBDT has currently issued a notice to all its officers that no one should take any coercive measures to try and go against the outstanding dues. But what we learn from CBDT is the fact that they are currently in talks with DIPP, and they want DIPP to do valuation certification for startups because they're concerned that not every startup is at the value which it should be, and they feel that a lot of black money has flown into these startups, and they would want DIPP to come in, do the certification as per the rules of Startup India campaign, and only then this issue can resolve, at least for startups, and so giving a clarity that DIPP is the one who has to now do valuation certification for startups to try and avoid such confusion. And yes, for CBDT right now, they feel that only once this happens, this confusion can be sorted out. So let's see what DIPP does, how soon the certification process begins yet again, because this is an issue which comes up after every 6 or 8 months, again and again in the last 2-3 years, and they want a formal solution to be there so that neither the tax officers nor startups face any issue. Let's see how soon this happens. Back to you.
Okay, Timsy, we'll actually take this discussion forward a little later in the day. But for now, let's move on to the latest in the debate over GST. Former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram has lashed out at the central government after the recent round of rate rationalisation and the PM's comment pitching for a single standard rate. Now, Chidambaram has tweeted, and I'm quoting now, "Until yesterday, a single standard rate of GST was a stupid idea. Since yesterday, it is the declared goal of the government," end quote. He went on to say, and I'm quoting again, "Until yesterday, capping GST at 18% was impracticable. Since yesterday, the Congress Party's original demand of an 18% cap is the declared goal of the government." Chidambaram also talked about Arvind Subramanian's report at the CEA and said that until yesterday, the Chief Economic Advisor's R&R report to fix the standard rate at 15% was in the dustbin. Yesterday, it was retrieved and placed on the FM's table and was promptly accepted, end of quote. Now, it's not just P. Chidambaram. Another Congress leader and Punjab's Finance Minister Manpreet Singh Badal has also slammed the centre on GST. Listen in to what he had to say on this issue at a press conference held on Tuesday.
ये जो GST लाई गई 2017 में, ये जल्दबाजी में और बिना तैयारी के लेके आए थे। नकल ही करनी थी, पर नकल के लिए भी जैसे मैंने बोला अकल की जरूरत पड़ती है। तो कंसेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी जो है वो इस जो GST इंडिया में चल रही है उसमें नहीं थी। दूसरा, स्टेक होल्डर जो थे, ट्रेड था, कॉमर्स था, इंडस्ट्री था, उनसे मुशावरत नहीं हो सकी, उनसे कंसल्टेशन नहीं हो सकी। और जो तीसरा फ्लॉ जो कांग्रेस पार्टी और हमारा तजुर्बा है कि एक जो टेक्नोलॉजिकल प्रिपेयर्डनेस थी, एक टेक्नोलॉजी GST का जो नेटवर्क था वो ही रोज जाम हो जाता है, उसमें बहुत सारी दिक्कतें पेश आ रही हैं।
All right, let's move on to the big corporate exclusive interview of the day. Bajaj Auto will come in with electric vehicles for personal use at the top of the pyramid. That's the word coming in from Bajaj Auto's MD, Rajiv Bajaj. In a conversation with CNBC TV 18, Rajiv also said that the company plans to foray into the electric vehicle space by 2020 with 2- and 3-wheeler products. Here are some experts of that exclusive interview.
We will come in with electric vehicles for personal use at the top of the pyramid, because all new technology does well when it comes in at the top, because those consumers appreciate it and can afford it, and you don't have to bleed to introduce it. Now, whether it will be a scooter or a motorcycle, as I've said before, time will tell, but definitely before 2020, both in the personal space in the form of a scooter or a motorcycle, and in the commercial space in our three-wheeler and quadricycle, we intend to be there with electric vehicles. Q4 growth will be very muted for the industry in terms of primary sales from companies to dealerships, although retail will continue at, let's say, the 10% year-on-year growth that we've been witnessing. I have no specific reason to believe that FY20 should be significantly better or worse. So, it's hard to predict the future, but I would assume this level of double-digit growth to continue. I think the biggest challenge for the industry is going to be to make this transition over these two norms related to safety and emission over, let's say, the next 12 months. So that's a big challenge for all of us. As far as scooters is concerned, this is again a very large industry, 500, 600,000 a month, with very well-established players like Honda and TVS, who are number 1 and number 2. So I think, if there is one formula for success in this industry, quite simply it is differentiation. And Bajaj would have nothing to bring to the table if it were to, introduce to the market the 50th 100cc or 125cc scooter.
All right, let's move on now to a special. Through the end of 2018, we are recapping the year gone by through the sectors that impact the market and the economy. Nifty IT has been one of the best performing indices this year, with an outperformance of over 20%. Here is Reema Tendulkar with a look back at the IT sector. Reema, take it away.
Yes, a 20% outperformance by the sector, one of the best performing sectors this year. And the key reason for that, the sector was boosted by the Trump tax reform, which drove US growth and spend. INR-related depreciation, the rupee weakened by 10% from the opening levels to the lows, and also regular capital return to the investors. But where 2018 differed from expectations at the start of the year. At the start of the year, the hope was that all the companies will show a meaningful improvement in growth rates. However, contrary to expectations, there was not a broad-based pickup in growth. Growth was actually only led by TCS, and companies like Cognizant actually witnessed a slowdown in growth rate, which is what explains the stock returns this year. As you can see, it was TCS which was the best performing stock this year, with a rally of more than about 40%, given that this company is likely to see the maximum expected improvement in growth rates. For Infi, it was about a 26% return, while for Wipro, it was a fairly pedestrian year. So this is how the revenues of the companies could stack up by the end of the year. For TCS, the maximum improvement from a growth rate of 6.7% in FY18, the company is likely to see a double-digit growth, while for Infi, the improvement could only be to the tune of 1%, and for HCL Technology, the organic growth could actually slow down on a year-on-year basis. For HCL Technology, there was another problem. The strategic tilt towards products and platforms has not gone down very well with the analysts. The two trends which are mixed so far and on which we need clarity, one, of course, is deal wins, and the other one is BFSI. So deal wins at record levels for Infi as well as Tech Mahindra. But on the other hand, Accenture, when they came out with the numbers, said that the new bookings growth was the slowest that we've seen in the last 7 quarters. On to BFSI then. Very strong for TCS, Infi as Wipro in the quarter gone by. But for Accenture and Cognizant, it was on the weaker side. Some positives which have played out, we've seen an across-the-board improvement in hiring as demand has picked up and utilization levels are hovering near 3-year peaks. In fact, the Naukri IT Jobs Peak Index has seen about an 8% growth in November, and the average in the last couple of months has been close to about 17%. Digital also now is a meaningful contributor to the company's overall revenues, roughly about 30% of the overall piece. Now, some key questions for FY19. Will demand accelerate or even remain steady? While deal momentum has remained strong, the macros are a lot more volatile, whether it's trade concerns or Brexit. Accenture has actually warned of client budget growth moderating in 2019. Also, the question is whether companies can fulfill the demand without impacting their margins too much in the light of talent shortage in the US and constrained H-1B availability. And the rupee has already appreciated. Now, as JP Morgan puts it, 2019 revenue trends imply improved growth rates, which could prove optimistic if the macro risks materialize. But if major risks such as Brexit, trade war prove to be benign, IT services could outperform as companies have gone through the pain of investing to win against the secular themes. Back to you.
Welcome back. The big headline from the judicial space. Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad has pushed for the SC/ST quota in judiciary. While speaking at an event organised by All India Lawyers Board in Lucknow, the Law Minister said that the deprived must have representation in judicial appointments. Here is his rationale.
I am fully supportive of the idea of All India Judicial Service. क्यों? अगर IAS बनते हैं, IPS बनते हैं, Allied बनते हैं, इंडियन फॉरेन सर्विस, फॉरेस्ट सर्विस बनते हैं, तो एक बार हम देश के क्रीम को क्यों नहीं लाएं और ऑल इंडिया जुडिशियल सर्विस के माध्यम से? और हम ऐसे में SC/ST को रिजर्वेशन भी देना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि हमारे ST, SC, OBC के लोगों की एक पीड़ा होती है कि हमारे लोग जुडिशरी में कम दिखाई पड़ते हैं. एंड दे हैव अ पॉइंट. और मैंने हमेशा चीफ जस्टिस को कहा है कि विदाउट कॉम्प्रोमाइजिंग ऑन मेरिट्स, वी मस्ट एंश्योर that the judicial appointment also manifests an inclusive character.
All right, so that was Ravi Shankar Prasad. We are going to cut across to a conference by the NIA. A joint team of the National Investigating Agency and the Uttar Pradesh Police's anti-terrorism squad raided 16 locations across Delhi and Uttar Pradesh this morning. NIA officials are addressing the media at this point in time. Let's cut across.
100 mobile phones, 135 SIM cards, laptops, memory cards have also been seized from the accused persons. Some of the searches are still going on. After the initial interrogation of the 16 suspect persons, we have decided to arrest 10 persons, 10 accused persons. Questioning, interrogation is going on with all the accused and suspects, and we expect some more arrests later.
दिल्ली से कितने लोग हुए?
बता रहा हूँ. आज सुबह NIA ने दिल्ली और यूपी की 17 लोकेशंस पे सर्चेस की हैं, यूपी पुलिस और दिल्ली पुलिस की एक्टिव सपोर्ट से. ये सर्चेस एक आईसिस इंस्पायर्ड मॉड्यूल जो डेवलप हो रहा था, जो बॉम्ब बनाने की एडवांस स्टेज पे थे, जिन्होंने कई वेपन्स प्रोक्योर कर लिए थे, उनके ऊपर किया गया है उस मॉड्यूल पे. इसमें 6 लोकेशंस हैं दिल्ली में सीलमपुर इलाके में, 6 लोकेशंस हैं अमरोहा में. इसके अलावा हापुड़ ज़िले में, लखनऊ और मेरठ में भी सर्चेस की गई हैं. इन सर्चेस के दौरान काफ़ी बड़ी मात्रा में एक्सप्लोसिव मटेरियल मिला है, कई वेपन्स रिकवर किए गए हैं और एक कंट्री मेड रॉकेट लॉन्चर भी रिकवर किया गया है. लगभग 7.5 लाख रुपए कैश में रिकवर किए गए हैं.
After the bell now, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced India's intention to buy 36 Rafale fighter planes from France off the shelf, his government projected the move as a swift policy action taken in national interest. More than 2 years later, the government-to-government arms deal has turned out to be the biggest political hot potato of 2018. Let's take a look at how Modi government's decision to buy Rafale fighters has turned out to be one of the most controversial defence deals in recent times.
On 20th July, as the debate on a no-confidence motion was being discussed in the Lok Sabha, Congress President Rahul Gandhi stunned the nation by hugging his political nemesis Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the floor of the House. But no love was lost between the two as Gandhi attacked the Modi government on several issues, including the €7.8 billion Rafale fighter deal during his intervention on the debate.
The Prime Minister must also explain why this contract was taken away from HAL and the youngsters of Karnataka and given to a businessman who had a debt of 35,000 crores.
Prime Minister Modi rubbished the allegations, terming them irresponsible.
मैं कल्पना नहीं कर सकता हूं कि सत्य को इस प्रकार से कुचला जा सकता है, सत्य को इस प्रकार से रौंदा जाता है.
The opposition had been firing salvos at the Rafale deal since 2017. But it turned on the heat after this year's monsoon session. The Congress party decided to make it a national issue and alleged that there was corruption in the deal and the Modi government facilitated a 30,000 crore rupee offset package that was to be executed by Anil Ambani promoted company Reliance Defence. Anil Ambani maintained that his business rivals were promoting misinformation on the deal.
I have personally written to Shri Rahul Gandhi stating that Congress has been misinformed, misdirected and misled on the Rafale deal by malicious vested interests and corporate rivals.
At the center of this controversy was Paris-based Dassault Aviation, which told cnbc TV 18 that there was no corruption in the deal, all due process got followed, and the joint venture with Anil Ambani promoted Reliance Defence was a conscious business decision.
The choice of Reliance is mine.
But on the 14th of December, there was a twist in the tale. The Supreme Court rejected a petition that sought a CBI probe in the deal. The Apex Court said, "We are satisfied that there is no occasion to really doubt the process, and even if minor deviations have occurred, that would not result in either setting aside the contract or requiring a detailed scrutiny by the court." The opposition parties led by the Congress disagreed with the Apex Court and sought a joint parliamentary panel probe.
जिस दिन राफेल मामले पे इंक्वायरी हो गई और वो इंक्वायरी पार्लियामेंट करेगी, जेपीसी करेगी, जिस दिन वो हो गया, दो नाम निकलेंगे, नरेंद्र मोदी, अनिल अंबानी, नरेंद्र मोदी. Thank you.
The Modi government, which had been on the back foot after losing 3 states to the Congress, saw the Supreme Court verdict as a chance to corner the opposition parties on the issue.
और इसलिए हम चाहेंगे कि कम से कम इतना तो हो कि सदन के दोनों सदनों में जो कल तक कांग्रेस पार्टी मांग कर रही थी कि क्वेश्चन आवर सस्पेंड होकर राफेल की डील पर चर्चा हो जाए.
While the government has claimed victory on the issue, opposition parties are nowhere close to abandoning the attack on the Rafale deal. That's because the Supreme Court order alludes to a CAG audit of the Rafale deal, which is yet to be completed. Opposition parties maintain that this makes the clean chit of the Apex Court null and void. With lawyers like Prashant Bhushan getting ready to file a review petition against the Supreme Court order, it is clear that the biggest political controversy of 2018 will continue on simmering for some more time.
All right, with that, it's time to wrap up this edition of After the Bell. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to cnbc TV 18. Markets Today Talkback is up next.